we're in a Lamborghini in Italy. And when you think of Lamborghini, there's only one person that really comes to mind. A guy that's been there since the beginning. The guy who has test driven more Lamborghinis than anyone else. This is something every car enthusiast, every car fanatic wants to do. Drive an Italian supercar, driving an Italian exotic through Italy. And it's everything it's cracked up to be. There really is a passion that's put into these cars. Yeah, I know Lamborghini is now pretty much Audi, but you know, you've got that Italian flavor in Italy. It's, I'm too busy to be caring. I'm too busy to be bothered by that, but I'm gonna make a good product. And one man that really defines Lamborghini from its past days to present, well, it's Valentino Balboni, and that's who we're going to meet today. Valentino, I have to say, meeting you here at the heart of Lamborghini is actually one of the most exciting experiences I've had in quite some time. But you know, everyone knows that you are so ingrained with Lamborghini, but not a lot of people know how you started. So can you tell me the story of how you started with Lamborghini?
Well, this is a beautiful story. Started many years ago. In fact, one day I was playing soccer in my village, and it happened that the priest of my village was born in Sant'Agata, and he asked me to follow him, to drive with him to visit his parents. So when we went through this road, I saw a beautiful Miura here outside, parked, downloading from a big truck, and I told him, well, stop here, I want to see what those beautiful cars are, and then you pick me up later when you come back. And I stopped, and I was coming and looking at those beautiful cars and there was a Miura bodies downloaded coming from Torino, where Bertone was assembling and painting the car. And this is how I started, you know. And then suddenly a man came out of the building, an old man came out of the building, and he started pushing those bodies inside the company. And instantly I started to help him pushing those bodies inside without even knowing what he was doing.
Didn't even communicate with him?
Absolutely not.
You just helped him push the Miuras
just helping him pushing those bodies inside. And it was such a pleasure. And on the way out, the man at the security, which was a good friend of Ferruccio Lamborghini, started to yell on me, saying, "Who are you? Why are you here? Why are you coming out of the company? I don't know you." I mean, like, he was treating me like
a criminal.
Like, more or less. But actually he was playing, you know, he was playing a big role, a big important man, and me, I was feeling bad. And well, after a few minutes, the story ended up, he wanted me to fill up an employment form. And then, after a week, I was employed here at Lamborghini, and this was April 21st, 68.
It's not the first time I've been in a Lamborghini. I've been in quite a few. And that raw power, the sound of that engine behind you, they really pay attention to the sensations. This driving position isn't perfect, but it's Lamborghini. You kind of sit off center. It just has a personality. A car has a personality. This car has a personality. Out of any car, this one, Lamborghini, they have the most personality. I've got to tell you, because you know, you get into any of the Germans, they lack that personality, but they're precise. This talks to you. You started at the very bottom.
Yeah.
And you worked your way up. How did you get to that point?
Well, this was another special story, because, you know, I was driving cars here inside the building every day, and I couldn't. And but I wanted to learn how to drive the cars around the building. And many times my general director called me upstairs and he said, you shouldn't do that, you can't do that. Because everybody was complaining. Imagine today we have air conditioning, glasses everywhere. On those times, was the secretary, the office here where we are right now. So the old dust and noise was coming inside and everybody was complaining. So my general director, Engineer Stanzani, called me many times and he said, next time we fire you. So I said, no, don't do that, please. And one time he called me again and I said, well, this is the last time. This is my last day at the company because I was expecting complaints again. But this time he told me, now we need to train a test driver. And since you keep driving all day around the company, we want to see if you have the attitudes to become a test driver. And then I stay 1 year with a senior test driver and he teach me, all day driving with him and, just learning how to drive and handle with the car and get the feeling and,
Even in Italy, everyone looks at you when you're driving an exotic car. This is a special product of their nation. They take pride by just looking at it. And the people who work in the factories, Ferrari, Maserati, Lamborghini, they're dictating a national pride. And you can actually see the progress only in the past decade with how Lamborghini is becoming much more than just that crazy supercar company in the middle of Italy. They've got much more than that. They actually do have a history. They have their roots in the most unlikely of places. Tractors. But look at this, in Italy, nowhere else will a Lamborghini get passed by a Toyota Yaris. The guys here are insane. The drivers don't care about speed limits. How did you learn what was right and what was wrong?
Well, at a certain point, the car tells you what is right and what is wrong. You have to understand how the car reacts and compare on how the car should react. So, is a mix of many things and many components, feelings, reaction of the car, and yes, it's something that grows up every day, and when something is wrong, it comes to your attention instantly.
This LP564 is actually relatively easy to drive. It's not cumbersome, and the experience of having 1 million miles above you with that V10 right behind you, the sound, the experience, it's awesome. It's fantastic. Look at these kids. Hey! Everyone looks. You look at the mirror, and as you evolve all the way up to the Diablo Murcielago, how do you feel that the transition has gone with Lamborghini? And what has kept from the original cars that you drove first? What has kept throughout the entire model range?
Well, I would say the technical point of view is completely different. But the character and the philosophy, we call it the DNA of Lamborghini, is still there even today on a modern car, on a super modern car, I would say. The technology applied today on a Lamborghini is something outstanding. But still, I think one of the most interesting points for Lamborghini is that we have been able to keep the personality and the let's say character of our cars, even transferred on a modern product.
Well, how would you define that? What is the characteristic of a Lamborghini? What makes a Lamborghini what it is?
Exclusive.
Okay.
Is a car that makes you laughing, smiling, not laughing. Is a car that makes you emotion driving. Is something that makes you so happy. So, you get I would say, separated from the world. You are on your own world when you drive a Lamborghini. I mean, you don't see anything else. You are not interested in anything else but just driving this magnificent car.
It's not perfect. Puts a smile on your face. That's what matters.